Hello everybody. Yeah, so I promised to make another video on the not irrigated area on our land, and that's not where you're looking at now. This is actually our reed bed that has lots of water, and there's a willow, there's a Alnus glutinosa, which is an alder tree which is beautifully expressing itself, and here is a mini agroforestry system, also irrigated. With citrus and peaches. This peach tree comes by seed. Look, it has been moved from one land to the other already, and it making its first peach. The tree is not optimal, but it definitely is growing, and it's cool to see how something that once went by seed in the ground moved from one land to the other, pruned heavily, and eventually now established and makes its first seed. So yeah, bravo for this tree. Now I have a mini pumpkin field here right at the base with some red amaranth coming in between, and some grasses which will need some pruning. But yeah, so this is a beautiful system I like to show because there's figs coming here. There is plenty of nasturtium flowers, as you can see, an edible crop, citrus coming. Figs are pretty big here already, you can see that. And I'm going over the line here. Look at this yacon with leeks, and some equisentum coming voluntarily. And to clean the lens for a second. And now we have yeah, the figs. Beautiful. That fig looks really ready to, really beautiful. So I'm going to the area where we don't use irrigation, because this system is having irrigation, and it's why not why you went into this video probably. I wanted to show you before I get there. This system is pretty cool. It is now a little over 3 years old. The other video has a system very similar. Now there's an extreme amount of growth here on our annual garden, and this is pretty surprising even for us. I mean, I knew I was going to feed this system quite a lot of energy with vermicompost, but look, if you have a corn plant like this, it's a bit scary almost, like what, 3.5 meters with the yacon in the middle. Look at that, and beans on the edge, and red amaranth, so even some borage coming in between. Beautiful. So the chaos here is it's organized chaos, obviously, but it is quite intense how well-fed soil with lots of organic matter simply creates this abundance. And obviously you would love to have this everywhere on the farm, but this was an experiment. I just fed the system, yeah, abundantly on this 10-meter strip, and look at what you get. So I would really advise, this is very good for your self-esteem if you think good about it, to just plant something very, very abundantly and just get this feedback, and see what is possible on the longer term if you get systems with plenty of organic matter and compost. So that's oca, and this is yeah, I don't know, a root crop. I cannot call the English name. It's yeah, sorry on that. And then here we have the system soon I was talking about. So here we are having beans, and this is called mountain spinach. It's now going to seed. Beautiful colors, obviously. And yeah, so taro and some how do you call those? Pepino or peremelão. I'm going down here into this corridor where we are still needing to prune quite a lot of material. So this is the last bit of our land, on the base of the land, where we're using no water. There's the non-irrigated zone. So didn't visit this place for a while, so I'm super curious what I'm going to see. Yeah, so the corn looks thriving. Like it's the same corn that was planted Maybe a little later, but still you can see it didn't develop as tall as the one I just showed you. Totally different. Although it does look a little bit like corn that I would plant in other beds. And for that matter, um, it is pretty okay still. So if I would have fed this system that much as up there, I believe this plant would have definitely been taller and happier, and the irrigation doesn't seem to do that much of a difference. Obviously the size also comes with irrigation because the plants have, you can see they're a little bit more yellow. They had a moment of drought here, you can see that also. And yeah, having this water would have helped. But look at how good they actually are in harvesting water. This is one of the most famous patterns. You can see if you look good, these little hairs. So this is how a syntropic system basically gets the water from the air. Quite amazing, right? I hope YouTube can keep this high quality of video so you can see the single hair on this crop. On every leaf, everywhere. You will see that on the side. So this is a pattern in nature that is really smartly designed to just make sure that any drop of water that is in the sky in the night and now in the morning even gets stuck to this plant. You know, look at the beauty of that. And it gets harvested by the plants themselves. And they feed that, basically letting it run down, feed that into this system. So I'm not saying now you should use corn to get water, because look at all the plants, they're all having this really amazing capability. Amazing, right? That's water, right? And comes from the sky, you know. It's raining a little bit, but this would even happen in the middle of the night, in a cold night. So you have a warm day and in a cold night you get this condensation on the leaves and everything basically drinks in the night. Now even if you prune, as you prune you get even more of that effect. So you create more of a water hungry system, because they create lots of big leaves that can capture that water very well. Instead of having, let's say, drier leaves like these, or these, they probably don't have those hairs anymore, and they also don't really have the need for a system that going basically senescent, like we talked earlier about. It's not really in search of that water anymore. It really wants the nutrition for the seed. So if the corn gets brown and old, it will start really pulling energy from the system to make those corn cobs. And yeah, we are looking for a lush system, so it constantly searches for water in the air and in the soil. You can see we did a lot of succulents here, and now result is crazy. These succulents are going to make flowers and fruits, and I've been pruning these already once. Here you get a system was planted in November. There's a chestnut tree here, and this I did not irrigate at these two lines. What I did do though is mow these grasses and give those grasses to this system. Huh? You can see that over there. And but there is plenty of happy trees here. this morning dew and little rain even obviously is a blessing. But you can see this is soon, interestingly, an opportunity for us to prune again the celery that we have and brought to the system. And then you can see here these little tree seedlings. This is loquat. And here there's some other small trees. There's a lot of chestnut here and small trees, so we had a little limited amount of species. But you can imagine if you really enhance the species, you get a more diverse expression of the same effect. Here's the pumpkin, again chestnut right next to it. another chestnut. So yeah, I would have loved it if I had more species in here. See, the poplars and the willows are coming. So this system eventually looks like it's going to just, I mean, I'm giving it a lot of energy in terms of mowing. Well, it's not a lot of energy. I'm mowing these hedges here and I'm giving that to the system, and that's what I do. And obviously I'm not harvesting much from it, except from a few flowers at the moment, which is great already. But you can see that the point is here that we don't irrigate, and this makes a very big difference when you manage a system. Like, there's no tubing and that's whatsoever, so it's very nice to work in a system. There's no tubing, obviously. It does grow a little slower, that I have to say, but it's also not really fair because these soils are very hard and there's a lot of clay here, so it's not necessarily the reason. So yeah, probably if I compared it with the same situation and drip lines, the system would definitely develop faster. Anyway, the whole point was showing you something that does not get irrigation, and it does actually thrive. I really hope that we get through July, August, September, and then in October I believe we will get some rain again, or at least less long sunny days as the sun will be lower in the sky, and that will then result for us in quite a nice going into winter with the crops having survived summer. Yucca coming here, some seeds surviving. There's probably more seeds of stuff that is making it. Yeah, so there's lots of molds. I pruned the willows here, and there's some reeds I threw on top of that. So the beginning of the summer you can easily cut reeds and just drop them on the soil because they don't root. If you do this at the beginning of the winter, these reeds might root, and that's something you want to avoid, as they are quite difficult to manage. Now here you see the banana, beautiful. Everything not irrigated, guys. This is beautiful. Yeah, so some stuff goes to seed, like these peas. They were beautiful in the beginning, now they already go to seed. So ideally stuff like this would have been harvested, and then yeah, we would also now have to kind of look at these flowers as a crop that's going to seed and become senescent and has to kind of leave the system. Although they look so beautiful, at a certain point I have to decide, like, they have enough done here. We have harvested enough flowers and the bees have had enough of them. They will probably not get enough of them, but we have to kind of interfere at a certain point. Now this one I'm specifically interested in, the salt bush. You can see, beautiful edible leaf for salads, come from the spinach family. And yeah, I would say that sort of crops in this drier climate, like the how do you call it, the Figure India or Barbary fig, are very interesting. The yucca I was showing earlier, so drier crops, dryland crops that can handle the drought, they should be definitely planted in these not irrigated systems to really bridge the moments where there's a problem with not having water. So these are Mexican sunflowers. They're also a good idea, and you can really add as many species into systems like this as you can, but I would emphasize on the, yeah, this is what I was saying, the yucca. You can literally just get chunks of a plant like that, a big plant, and just put them in every meter, one piece of that in the ground, and yeah, let them make their organic matter and help your system. While there's more, let's say, needy crops in between. So needy crops like there were seeds here of broccoli, and they didn't develop very well, and you have seen earlier in the other video where there is irrigation that the broccoli actually develops very well. in its initial stage. So this one was also in March, and the other one was already when it was warmer. But yeah, broccoli doesn't need that heat that much. It's just, I think, the initial water and also combination of a lot of shade um, and a pressure of a lot of plants together, that certain plants just get, yeah, not in the best situation and will not develop that much, and others will because they feel like they can. So not everything will thrive, and there definitely is a lot of learning curve for me here as well. I'm just putting these systems down with the seeds that I have at the moment, and in the time that we have available. And I felt like the time investment that we gave to this during a course, during actually one and second course. So this was again November, and this one was March. So interestingly, we upped our game. Obviously, you can see much more going on here than the one that was planted in November. But I bet if we would have chosen different crops and species, this system over there would have looked, yeah, could have looked very similar to this system here. It's just that we did something completely different, and obviously if the corn wouldn't be here, it would look so differently. So so we didn't use so many cuttings, for example. There's some willows going by cutting, but yeah, so that's it. That's how it is going. And this is beautiful in combination with a little bit of rain, obviously. So you need the rain to establish these systems, obviously. And yeah, again, literally, there wasn't a hose here or a bucket of water. This was just the rain doing, and it's already several months in, and it looks like we're gonna really get some crops out of it. So besides that, I feel that once these trees are established over the winter, next winter, we definitely don't have to come back and irrigate them again ever, as they are just really deeply rooted into it. And then we get into a really interesting next phase where we can prune them, put that material on the ground and grow annual crops in front of them, stuff like that. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, let's go to our next discoveries. And I don't know yet what the next video will be, but I think we'll look into summer where there's more mulching to be done, and prepare for the winter. But I'm in June still, so let's take it easy. Cheers. Thank you for watching.